I've researched just about everything there is on mewing, facial attractiveness, and the age-old question of do looks really matter. In this video, I'm going to break it all down and answer questions like what is mewing? Does mewing actually work? Will mewing improve my facial attractiveness? What are the alternatives to mewing? Why is it such a hot topic right now? And does facial attractiveness or looks really matter all that much anyway? So first of all, let's start off with mewing. What is mewing? Let's take a look and let's see what bodybuilding.com has to say about mewing. Tongue of the roof of the mouth, lips together and breathing through nose, also chewing hard gums and other exercises, basically a myofunctional therapy. Mewing is one of the attempts to enhance one's facial structure. Idea is to cause bone remodeling in adult, moving maxilla up and forward, augmenting zygomatic bones and rotating mandibula. This yields more attractive face. They accomplish this with kids while their bones are still growing, but there's some anecdotal evidence recorded in adults as well. Well, maybe we should look at some more credible sources here. So let's take a look here at a more authoritative source. How about the YouTube channel of the doctor that does mewing? So let's see what he has to say.
Doing mewing.
I think we're going to need to speed this up a little bit.
Really, one of the drivers for people coming to this channel and understanding what I'm doing is people who want to gain improvements. Now, I want to be clear, I want to help you gain health improvements.
Now I know how you guys feel when you're watching my videos and you're like, just shut the fuck up and tell me. Okay, so let me just tell you what mewing is. So mewing essentially is this. You take your tongue and you put it on the roof of your mouth. Okay, there's plenty of YouTube videos on this if you search. And you basically keep your mouth shut and leave your tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. That's it. Pretty simple. Breathe through your nose. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's what mewing is. There's a couple of other exercises, but really that's it. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, let's actually look at some of the science here. So this is actually something that has been around for a while. It's not new. It's new on YouTube, but it's not new. There's this thing called Ortho Tropics. Now, Ortho Tropics is somewhat valid. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, what they're basically saying is that you can change the shape of the facial bones, okay, of the jaw, for instance, by controlling the growth of it, right? And now a lot of the ways that they did this in the past was using appliances, okay? In fact, I remember as a kid, I had an appliance, but I didn't actually use it. I should have. Would have been better for me now. Look at my braces now. Fuck that. So this is actually somewhat valid, although it's still questionable, right? But there's some science behind this that makes some sense here, right? So Orthotropics is developed in 1966 to guide the forward growth of upper and lower jaws. Comes from the Greek word orthos, or straight, correct. So the basic idea behind this, right, is as we evolved as humans and we started chewing softer foods and we didn't breastfeed for as long, okay, we developed bad oral posture with the proper mouth posture, right, with the proper tongue posture, because it is a strong muscle. It's used to shape the bones of the face, and that a lot of the crooked teeth and things that we see today are based on that. Now, this sounds very similar to the things I've heard, the theories about myopia, right, of glasses. And it also sounds very similar to something which I tried, which is to cure your own myopia. This is something that has been around for a while, okay, and they're using appliances to do this. This is not just the positioning of your tongue. Now, the kind of radical guy here is John Mew. So he's got a site. He's a dentist or orthodontics or orthopist, whatever it is, in the UK. Okay, now I have to tell you something about him. He recently was basically expelled from the British Orthodontic Society, which has to tell you something, right? Again, it doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily work at all, but they thought he was a little bit loony, and they thought specifically that the way that he was promoting and advertising things, which you're seeing all over YouTube, was detrimental to his patients. So that's something to take into account here. It doesn't mean that that's, obviously medical bodies have made some big mistakes in the past, but it's something to take into account for sure. So if we look at his site, you can see here, and let's take a look here and see, does this actually work? Now let's take a look at what YouTube says about mewing, because this is always fun. And so there was actually a decent video here on what I've learned, attractive face or not. I'll put the links in the description for all these videos, but this was pretty good. It was pretty comprehensive. You can check that one out, okay, as a resource here. Does mewing actually work? So yes and no, okay? The biggest argument against it that I have is that there should be some clear evidence through x-rays and plenty of examples, right? I mean, this has been around for a while, okay? John Mew is actually the son of, I forget his name, his father. He's the son of his father. Imagine that. But he invented mewing like in the 1960s or 70s. So if this really worked, right? I mean, if you do orthodontics work, okay, well, we have so many case studies, so many adults and children that we can show pictures of, from x-rays to progress photos and whatnot, and we can say that orthodontics definitely work. So the problem that I have with mewing, at least especially in regards to adults, okay, is that we don't have clear evidence, and we should. This is the same argument that I use for aliens not visiting Earth. Why? Because everyone has a fucking cell phone now, okay? If there were aliens, okay, 20 years ago, okay, sure, I would have believed that shit. I did believe that shit, actually, okay? But now everyone has a damn cell phone, okay? You can't look at all the, every time that there's police brutality, and it goes all over YouTube. Trust me, there would be some fucking real aliens on YouTube if there were aliens. So same thing here. Again, if you don't, in today's day and age, with all the technology we have, all the x-rays and all the people that would have been doing this, we would have some really incontrovertible proof of this. Now, let's look at something here, though, because he does have some case studies, and the Orthotropics have some case studies here. Okay, and they look pretty damn good. Okay, but the children case studies, they're all children here, and this is definitely, I mean, there's something to be said about that they're aging, but look at that one, okay, right? And this is good. I think this is good that they're treating children. This makes the most sense to me, and this is pretty good evidence here. Again, you could fake some of this stuff, but there's enough of these pictures floating around that I believe this, and it makes sense. So I think in children it works and it makes sense. And I think most orthodontists would say that the bone is still growing. In fact, like I said, when I was a kid, I had an appliance. I didn't wear it. I should have. So there's some good evidence for children. Now, I don't see these case studies for adults. If you look at the evidence out here, if you look at all the YouTube videos and stuff, it probably works some for adults, okay? Because there's some YouTubers out there that have shown some before and afters, and it's nothing really, really convincing. Some of it, I think, is going to be attributed to some of the other things I'm going to mention here in a second about why and what you can do instead of mewing, okay? But I think it works to some degree. I think it's going to work really, really slowly. Obviously, you can shape bones, right? You can do all kinds of things to your body. Look at the people that extend their necks or put big holes in their ears and things like that. So, and obviously, I had Invisalign. Braces work by shifting the bones, right? Shifting the teeth in the bones and basically reshaping bone. So those things do work, and it's conceivable that if you are putting your tongue on the roof of your mouth, that it's going to eventually cause some shifts and some changes there. Not as extreme as I think as what they're claiming. I think there's some problems with that, but overall this makes sense to do. Okay, I know that after all this, you're like, well, John, this doesn't. Why are you saying this makes sense to do? For a simple reason: nose breathing makes sense. Okay, I do believe that the mouth breathing does cause a lot of the issues in children that become adults, where you have the overbites or the underbites and a lot of the facial aesthetic problems that do occur in crooked teeth. It seems like there's enough evidence, in my opinion, that makes sense. Okay, obviously I was a mouth breather when I was a kid. I've changed that to a large degree, and I've noticed changes in my own facial structure, and you could probably look at them on my older YouTube videos and some of my older pictures. Some of it is other things as well, which I'll talk about. But there's no reason to not do this. There's no reason to not have your tongue on the roof of your mouth and to breathe through your nose. It makes perfect sense. It's how we're designed to work. It's going to cure a lot of problems like sleep apnea potentially, and it may improve your facial aesthetics. I wouldn't count on it, but it probably will to some degree over some period of time. And it just makes sense, right? It's also going to keep your teeth from shifting as much in your mouth because you'll have that pressure there. It makes sense. And it'll also keep your tongue in the right place. If your tongue is to the side or pushing on your lower teeth or, in the wrong posture, it is going to cause your teeth to be crooked. It's just like orthodontics work, any kind of pressure on the teeth. So that makes sense to me. Why is it popular on YouTube? Why is it when you go to YouTube, okay, and you type in mewing, why is this suddenly showing up in all the suggested videos here? Why did I make this topic? Okay, because this is popular right now. It's getting a lot of clicks. So a lot of people are doing this, okay? And so I believe what's going on here, and this is kind of the reason why I made this, not just to get clicks. I mean, LooksMax figured this out. Look at this, 205K views. He just started this channel. Look how tongue affects facial development. He's almost got 1 million views on this video. Okay, so what is going on here? The point is that you're being exploited, right? Those people are being exploited by this, because the whole idea, the thing is, like, mewing, if it changes your facial structure, if you can start looking like Brad Pitt or a model, or look at how this video started off, right? But understand that's why this is becoming popular, and why the results are being overblown, right? And I believe that, Dr. John Mew is taking advantage of this. I really do. I think that's what the Orthodontic Association in UK figured out, and it's a shame if that's the case. This is just my opinion. Okay, I don't have any proof of this. I'm not making any accusations, but I'm saying that this is what I think is going on here. But like I said, why not do it, right? And if you're going to do it just for the sake of its good tongue posture. It'll probably have a small result. There's no reason to not have good tongue posture and be a nose breather. It makes sense to me. Okay. In children, though, it makes a lot of sense. This is one of those things that the value of it, I think, is making sure that children, if you have children, that you really make an effort to teach them correct tongue posture and to breathe through their nose. I think that really will make a difference in their lives. Okay, so that's important. So there's some value there. Okay, now let's talk about, will mewing improve facial attractiveness? I think that it will to some degree, but I think there's other elements that are involved in it. And I think with the children, it will certainly make a difference. Okay, but the appliances would be a better bet for children. So if mewing doesn't necessarily work, what are the alternatives? Obviously, like, I've got braces on, orthodontics. Okay, I did Invisalign and it works. Invisalign works. Now, can they fix the jaw and move the jaw forward? Not so much. They have to do surgery, cut the jaw, right, and move it forward. But it can close the bite, okay, and it can make a lot of improvement. And if you look at, I mean, I've got a pretty decent jawline, right? I didn't always have that. But there's a couple other factors I'll talk about that led to that for me, I believe. I think one of them is that I actually did start nose breathing. I stopped mouth breathing. Okay, and I think that over time, I've been doing this for a few years now. I think it has made a difference along with the orthodontics. Okay, so that's one alternative, and we know that's proven, at least for straightening teeth. And it's going to improve your looks, right? If you just have perfectly straight teeth, even if you're have a little bit of an overbite, you can also train your jaw a little bit, which I've worked on as well. Okay, so that makes sense. There's another thing out here called AGGA. Okay, anterior growth guidance appliance. Now this looks really promising for adults. Honestly, it's a little bit more of an involved procedure. But I was looking at this Springfield Smile Doctor, okay, and I'm looking at the results here, and I don't think that this is a scam or a sham. Okay, if you look at this is an adult person, look at this before and after, and it's really interesting what's going on here. And there's some science behind this. This is pretty interesting. I find this more interesting than mewing, actually. Is look at her face. Okay, look at how long it is here. Okay, and look at how it's actually changed. Like, the eyes are sunken in. Like, this, obviously this jaw has come forward, but it's more than that, right? The brows have changed. The shape of the nose has even changed here. Okay, so what is going on, right? And you can look at these photos here. Okay, so this is pretty compelling, right? This one maybe not as, but look at her, the chin and the face. Look at this. I mean, look at the distance here, and look at the distance here. They've got this appliance, okay, and it basically goes in. It doesn't look very comfortable, but it's widening the arch, okay? And then there's this little pressure point that's pushing down on a specific spot. Now, this seems a little weird to me, but I don't know. I mean, when you look at the facial changes that have happened with these, especially this guy too, right? Like, it's more than just the jaw, right? It's like the brows changed, okay? So apparently, if you push on this spot, okay, again, not something that I've been able to confirm 100%, but it seems fairly legitimate, is that it will actually induce growth in the entire face. Okay, not just the jaw and not just widening it up. So that's interesting. That is really quite interesting, I found. So that's this looks fairly compelling, right? If you look at the before and afters on all of these. Okay, so now let's look at another one here, which is another option as an alternative to mewing is, and probably this is the best option, honestly, is losing weight. If you look at my own photos, right, we can show my fat ass photo up there. We'll put that up. But when I was fat, okay, when I had extra fat, my face did not look as good. Like my jaw, you could not see my jawline. Okay, but now you can, because you can see the muscle definition there. That's as I've gotten leaner, as you get leaner, your face will look better. And here's the one that I'm going to throw in here that is controversial, that I don't have any evidence of, but I believe that a change in mindset actually changes. I believe that I've got a video where my voice has changed completely, right, over time. If you look at my first videos, my voice has changed dramatically as an adult, and I would attribute it to, I've told you guys in other videos, actually initiating into what I would call manhood, like becoming more masculine and getting in touch with that side of me and really embracing that and changing my mindset. As I became more of the bulldog mindset, as I became more of the stoic kind of person, these things change. As your mind changes and who you are changes, and you change your personality and the way that you view things and your aggressiveness and all these kind of attributes, I believe that it does change the hormonal balance, right? And this is not just crackpot science here. Again, if you look at even Jordan Peterson, right, talks about this in, what is his book, the 12 Rules for Life. He talks about the lobster example and what happens when the lobster loses, right? And if you're not familiar with that, basically when they have this dominance fight based on the hierarchy, and this happens with bonobo monkeys and chimpanzees as well, right, in different ways, the dominant male gains testosterone, just becomes larger. Okay, the alpha males become larger, the beta males become smaller. So these things actually do change. Finally, let's get to the last piece of this, the question you've all been waiting for, which is, do looks matter that much anyway? So let's see what Dr. Mew has to say about this. So he says that babies prefer attractive mums to unattractive mums. Okay, this is true. This is science here. Children grow up to believe that heroes are good looking, heroines are beautiful, and bad people are ugly. These stereotypes remain with us all of our lives. So it makes a difference, okay, right? Teenagers. Although they may not admit it, young teenagers are more concerned about their parents, their relationships with their parents. Well, it's true, right? Criminals, you're more likely to be judged as a criminal if you have a deformed and ugly face. It's true. Intelligence, good-looking people it's a halo effect. They're perceived to be more intelligent. Okay, status, you're considered to have higher status if your partner is good-looking than if they're plain. I would say your status as well. Personality, right? This is all like halo effect stuff. Okay, can orthodontic treatment change faces? Most orthodontists don't believe it's possible do not believe it's possible to improve the shape of the face with appliances. So then we get into the mewing thing. Looks matter, of course, they're going to matter. You should improve your appearance as much as possible, right? There's things that you can do aesthetically to do that, but it doesn't matter nearly as much as you think. You're not screwed. There's no like fucking Chad and not Chad thing. A lot of the perception of people is not just in their photos, right? And you'll notice this in real life. It's how they carry themselves. Okay, and it's what they believe about themselves. Okay, go to the gym. Okay, lift some weights. It'll improve your jawline anyway, because you'll be clenching and using the muscle. You lose some weight, you get ripped. You're gonna be looking the best that you can. Get a nice haircut, dress well. Okay, become somewhat confident. Like learn some social skills, and you're gonna find that like doing that is gonna be more beneficial than doing something like mewing or just improving your jaw. If you could have the perfect jaw, okay, you can improve your jaw. And if you don't have confidence, if you don't have social skills, if you don't have the other elements of social status, it's not going to matter. Okay, especially for you guys, for attracting women. I'm telling you that I coach a lot of guys. I work with this a lot. I've done all the research, and I can tell you that that looks do matter, but it's a psychological thing. A woman also that you guys need to understand, right? When a lot of these studies, a lot of these perceptions, a woman that perceives a man of higher status is going to perceive him as more attractive from looks wise, right? And you can see this with a lot of movie stars that are objectively, okay, not as attractive as a lot of male models that are out there that are objectively more attractive, yet the movie star would get the girl over the unknown male model. Does that make sense? Don't worry about this so much. Don't try and like research mewing to solve this problem. Do all the other stuff I said. Okay, that's going to make a bigger impact. The kind of person who has the bulldog mindset, okay, is the kind of person who is confident, who does care about their appearance, who takes care of themselves, who goes to the gym, who gets lean, right, who dresses well and learns the social skills that they need to do, right? So that's why, you can't just say it's looks, right? It may be if you have the looks, you're more likely to get the positive effects in your life that would have caused you down that path. But typically they go together, those character attributes, right? I firmly believe that what you are inside gets reflected on the outside in your appearance. Now, again, some people can say that that's bullshit, but that's my opinion on it. So, all right, guys. So, question for you here. What do you think? Have you tried mewing? Okay. Do you think it works? Are you still convinced that looks are the most important thing? Leave a comment below, and make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss my follow-up video. I'll do a follow-up video based on those comments. I will talk to you next time. Take care.